Yeah, that's right.
Tashdele.
Tashdele Gishla, Tashdele everyone.
Tashdele
Gisela.
Tashdele Gisela.
Everyone.
Yeah. Tashdele everyone.
Tashdele.
Okay. So we will start with prostration. Namo Manju Namo So Namo Dhamma Shri Soha Namo Manju Shri Namo So Shri Namo Dhamma Shri Soha Namo Manju Shri Namo So Shri Namo Dhamma Shri Soha So we start with breathing meditations. So please sit according to 7 meditative posture of Vairocana. So visualize Buddha's Shakyamuni in the space in front of us. His appearance is Buddha Shakyamuni, and his nature is no different from our Guru. He is surrounded by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So we visualize from Buddha Shakyamuni and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas from their bodies, light rays radiate together with nectar of white, red, and blue. When we breathe in, we visualize this nectar, light and nectar of white, red, and blue enter into our bodies together with our in-breath. So when we breathe in slowly. And when we breathe out slowly as well. So when we breathe out, we visualize our negativities, obscurations, etc. in the form of black smoke or liquid. Come out with our out-breath from our body and vanish in the space. So first three times of breathing, we breathe in with right nostrils and breathe out with left nostril. Second round of 3 times breathing, we breathe in with our left nostril and breathe out with our right nostril. Third round of 3 times of breathing, we breathe in and out with our both nostrils.
동아 지나 있은지 대다 탕제 랑 대원 대바 나시 동아 대원 대바 지선다 랑 동네 문제바 나시 참아 동네 문제바 지선 동아 지나 있은지 대다 탕제 dag 쳔데 마나시 까딘 쳔고 샤다 마마시 바 지정네 마셰바라 장지 무제바 이비 다 진지지 만드나 대원 되자 랑도 콜로 지도 왕기 다 동네 바시 뇽네 데이카 키치차 문두비 다 진지지 만드나 대와 피슨 소바다 되나 쳔마루 냠비
All sentient beings are exactly like oneself in terms of wanting happiness and not wishing for sufferings. All sentient beings have been our mothers, and their kindness to us are exactly the same as the mother of this life. And none of the sentient beings had not been our mothers. So all kind mother sentient beings, though they wish for happiness and do not want sufferings, however, not knowing the object of abandonment and adoptions properly, they only create a karma that brings forth the result of suffering. So in your mind, sincerely think that how nice if all sentient beings have happiness, may they have happiness. So this is to generate loving kindness.
동아 지나 있은지 대다 탕제 고선지 문제비 초 타다가 전에 쳔마루 냠비 된디 인지 모셔스
All mother sentient beings in the state of sufferings. So things that how nice if the sufferings of their three doors be totally pacified. So may they be free of sufferings of the three doors. This is to cultivate compassion.
동아 지나 있은지 대다 탕제 코와당에서 그 동아리가 도인 게데 쓰라 보고도 있는 게 녀랑라 보스 녀랑라 보제 대디네가서 양다 와도 상지 공부하는 게 니바데네 니바데 쓰라였으네 양다 와도 상지라 여바 히네 그래서 탕지도 상지 공부하고 샤오는다 장주세 모셔스
Who has the responsibility to free all sentient beings from three lower states and from samsaras in general? I have the responsibility to free them from samsara. However, I do not have the ability to free them from suffering. Only those who have achieved the perfect complete enlightenment have the ability to free them from sufferings. Therefore, for the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. So this is to cultivate bodhicitta.
당에서 고는 지야라 예신지 탕지들 상지 공부도 대체도 다 장도 나지린 비치히네 냐네 책임들 지금 상도스 고는 섭다비스
For the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. For this purpose, I'm going to receive Lamrim teachings and will put it into practice.
Thank you. 당부地区yi这当俺说我的主要之类的这当接了我从我这这体育课等地起来当球过去那等到地方是我过了多年毛不去过呢等到这当俺说那没就往来就是往学嘛等的毛不学习的是吧他觉得往马上毛不生产也让我说我的多年没了就是要啥的是吧这学了我说多年没事接触过的是吧
So before we start today's sessions, I would like to say this. So in general, the questions and answers regarding Tantra, so it would be more appropriate to ask questions and answers when we have the Tantra class. So it would be more appropriate to ask in the Tantra class. So because also in the audience, and there are some of us, we haven't received the initiations, so it wouldn't be appropriate to discuss in their presence. So it would be good to discuss in the future when we have a Tantra class.
但因为的可是就主要来这里的嘛，去连续学习是吧？可是主要来这里，但我的可是看到我说那天那的下定的就么的也是，的既然我那个的讲的，的可能的两千的真当不，是吧？真是吧？的我是听住那了，人家就是既然我是我的，这种帮不能了，去那天那的的没学是吧？去刺激的，那这个谈到讲的那个意思是吧？这个谈到的嘛，去社会去嘛些呢，这个么都是，的呀国家也不忙这个呢，去这个人说第些，上当过的嘛的，这个人就有嘛的是。看到那天那个的嘛就是军事的课的是呢，的我啦被搞不进去的，其实进去的，看不来的，等这个你天去看啥吃的吧，的那个到上这个嘛，那我就知道下周了嘛的这样嘛的是，是吧？的如果军事课是呢，的搞下情报，到下周了忙啊，对吧？呢，要让他心里个了搞下情报，让你个了没把起来的，别战中啊，等这个。军事那个了，上到当你看到，跟这个看啥吃的吧，尽量得出嘛，是有人嘛都，嘛说那天讲究是没，我个东北学生个到讲究是没呢，所以呢，这那天那个得出过嘛是的，国外的，我说印地好个不出过是，的早年老有嘛的是个，那天那个得出过嘛早年的所有嘛的是，的这个嘛是去了，的上当过的没，的这个嘛的吃不吃不吃不的是。
So having talked about the questions about Tantra, and since these questions about Tantra asked was it last week or some time ago, so it would be good to eliminate doubt in relation to these particular questions that have asked in the past. So the questions about Tantra, these questions is about not allowed to stay more than 7 days in the house or in the house of Stravakas. So this happens, as you encounter such wordings in the 6 sessions, and it is related to the secondary transgressions of Tantra vows. And since you all have asked the questions, and I think it is necessary to eliminate doubt about these particular transgressions. So otherwise, then we might have a misunderstanding about it. So regarding this particular statement that we are not allowed to stay more than 7 days in the house of Stravakas, the reason of when we talk about these Stravakas, then we should the understanding about these words Stravakas, we should understand it as a particular individual beings or particular beings who against Tantra, who belittle Tantra, who do not accept Tantra. So to those individuals or to those particular beings, then we are not, like for example, bodhisattvas who have received tantric vows is not allowed to stay in the house of that particular type of beings for more than 7 days. So they're only allowed to stay up to 6 days only. The reasons of prohibiting to the reason of having these prohibitions is there is a danger if bodhisattvas, for example, bodhisattvas who have received the bodhisattva vows were to stay with them for more than that particular period, then there is a danger that it will harm oneself, it will harm the bodhisattvas themselves, or at the same time, it might harm the persons, the particular beings or that individual beings who belittle, who do not accept, and who go against the Tantra. So it might harm the person, harm that particular being as well. So, and in order to refrain from these potential risks, so Buddhas only give only can stay more than 6 days together with them. So it's good to have a proper understanding in relation to this particular statement.
ngala chesi jinge da gaba jinge be sun jinge tenri nyote da kansa sunri jile ba ina te kanda sha tu ma se sha chi de ma chora da ndwal nga su tu ndo disin chi jare sha chi de ma chora sha ni de ma chora ge tenri yungu reswa te de ma chora yungu res te gasha global gasha tashi ga tenri de chuyo maris te rangi ni gala pena ne ba chuya ge ninga leba ina sha chi de ma chora chidang nga so sha tu sanji de chwa da pa rimbi ke shide pa manta pa rimbi ke shari chi gol derwa da de no ninga yoba ina sha chi ni de mo chwa de kanda ndo gi tenda de la ja ko sko mo so ndo si wa mo so ma so ya chi de ya tenda ja chi mi se share sko.
Yeah, so we have to make sure that we understand the difference between the difference between Shravakas, just literal meaning of Shravakas, and the meaning of individual beings who belittle, who do not accept, and who go against the Tantra. So we must make sure that we understand the difference between this, and so it doesn't limit to just bodhisattvas who have received tantric vows. Basically, it is applicable to anyone who have received the bodhisattva vows. So for those who have achieved tantra vows, then they are not allowed to stay more than 6 days in the house of this particular individual Shravakas. So this particular being or this particular Shravakas for more than 6 days. So, however, when we look at these words, so these words, which is the words in the sutra spoken by Buddha. So this is the Vinaya text, and besides this, there is also a supplementary text that explain the meaning of the Vinaya rules. So in this supplementary text of Vinaya, then it also depends on situations. So it has to consider the reason and the necessity to do something. If the risk or if the danger is great, then it don't mention about staying 6 days or not more than 7 days in the house of this particular individual Sravaka beings who belittle or who do not accept Tantra. There is in this supplementary text, it also says that then these bodhisattvas, for example, who have received tantric vows, is not even allowed to stay more than 1 day in the house of that particular individual Sravaka beings.
The Sanji Jondin de Nutella Shadima to Chitin Machulag in Gayorsko. Sanji Jondin de Nutella Shadima to Chitin to Maris Lag in Gayar. Sanji Jondin was a mark to Mara danger, Timbi double did it. The Chanjus in Bamazan was a mark to but Dengi Kansa Yonzola, Chibarema, the Chanjus in Bachibol Mari. Cousin was to tender share the Chanjus in Bagay, Quantakana Nitiji, Jis Tunchida, Tamito Shila, Gona, Gila, Chia, to tender she said the Casilla, Tamito Kandatilla, Julia Chia, and Bezin Chatter, 네티저리 지제스도 치도 네티저리라 최대한 대치도 해서 된다디로와 예 하고 버치고래 대 간다 네티 상진지나 통화체세 거다 오만지 몰라 네티 상진지나 통화체 네티다 랑상지 통화를 제발 해서 통화를 제서 된다 가서나 상지기 최대한 발에 네티 상지 네티 상지 제발 해서
오늘 얘도 랑기다
네티다 랑자서 tembal에 제발 해서 템비 최대한 발에 되는데 네티 라주로 공부 랑자 라주로 공부 돼야 돼. 저를 최대한 발에 네티 상진지나 통화 지에서 가서 빠디 다타 가게 오만지 벌에 됐으면 해서 다타 오만지 벌에 열어서 간다.
디 빠디 다타 가 오만 주발라
오만지 벌에
디 얘도 다 랑기
통화를 제발세.
통화라 기바
통화는 템바 투고 온거라. 템바 투고 온거라 제발 해서 송자해서 대 제발에 로고 유지 가서나 템바 투고 온거 최대네. 네티다 상지지 랑상지지 공부에 돈이 대 제발 해서 된다들로 그랬어.
템바 내기 말이야
템발에 제발 해서 열었고. 대 찍고로 열었고.
최대네
대 통화를 제발 해서 네티 상진지나 통화 제에서 지디 열어. 좀 오만지 본 텐데 열었어. 지디. 와. 딜러야 돼. 템바 상지게 최대한발라 되는데 통화 좀 말해서 네티 좀 말해서 거죠. 근데 샤딘데 뭐저번에 템바 투병 뭐 네티나도 샤딘데 뭐 저게 로그에 내가 리고 그랬어. 그래서 야 디스 하고 같이 그랬어.
Yeah, so regarding these particular statements, then we should have a proper understanding in relation to it. Otherwise, then there is a great danger that we might induce a misunderstanding that Buddha also not allowed to stay more than 7 days in the house of Shravakas, because Buddha is also a being who have tantric vows. So it might induce such a misunderstanding if we do not have a proper understanding in relation to that particular statement that we mentioned just now. Then there is a danger that we might induce such a misunderstanding. So basically, it refers to any beings who have received tantric vows. So it doesn't limit to bodhisattvas only. And why we bring out this, why we have this, these discussions is because we talked about bodhisattvas have to generate in their mind the path of Shravakas and path of solitary realizers as a way to benefit them and as a way to take care of them. So because we discuss about it, then this then comes about the questions about this particular statement. So in Chandrakirti, entering the middle way. So in the text called Entering the Middle Way, it also says, hearer and solitary realizers born from Buddha. Hearer and solitary realizers born from Buddha. So again, we have to understand the meaning of these particular statements. So what does it mean is hearers by relying on the Buddha's teachings, then they achieve the state of the state of arhat, yeah. So they become hearers, and solitary realizers by relying on the Buddha's teachings, then they become solitary realizers.
당가서 남바베 상가라 치시 징게 가바 징게 남바 제다바 간사 질레바 이나 요 요시그로와 오 딘디 질레바 이나 당가서 상가게 dom바지다 댕게데 남바나도 데초마 샤딘데 데초마세 데 로게 지빠치장 잡으레스 데 로바 이나 데 간디 요사레스로와 데 성당 그레스 가서 남바나로 상가라 치시 징게지 데 가바 징게 간사 제다바지 레시바레스 델리바이나 데 나고 dom바 딩게데 간사데 남반나도 데초고 마스 라고 잡으레스 데 하장타와 마서 빼사그레스로와 어디서데 된다티스 고바 체고레스로와 된다 집바레 데서
So we should have a proper understanding in relation to the particular statements that we mentioned just now. So we should understand it as an individual being or individual hearer beings. So we should have this understanding that refer to a particular or refers to individual beings who belittle, who do not accept, and who go against the Tantra. So if we do not have this, if we do not understand in this manner, there is a great danger that, again, among Buddhists, yeah. So among Buddhists, there are Buddhists who do not accept Tantra, who do not accept, who belittle Tantra, and who goes against Tantras as well. So if we were to relate to this particular statement, then there is a great danger that we might think, or bodhisattvas, for example, who have received tantric vows, is not allowed to stay in the house of Buddhists for more than 7 days. So it will induce such misunderstanding again. So it will not be reasonable to say that bodhisattvas who have received tantric vows is not allowed to stay in a Buddhist house. So it will be very unreasonable to induce such misunderstanding. So we should have the proper understanding in relation to that particular statement.
지난번에 저런서 가면서 아주 치대 되고야지 치대. 와, 니들한테 야디미디서 치대 되고야지. 다 된다데 된다를 상당 거래서 니들 집안에 가서 싫으니 몰라. 미메 나메 제메서 로도아스. 뭐 딜라 상당 하고 그래서 아주 미메스나 순항하는 거서 나메스나 순항하는 거서 미나는 도그르겠어. 무슨 동그래. 무슨 연결에 띵용 순한 게 와라. 이 멜로바이나. 뜻뜻 된다 가르자 본도스. 오, 딜라 상당 거래서 아주 치카도 도스 담바이나 시텔라코 제베체네 상당한 계신 거로 그냥 야보를 도발이야 야보시버렸고 도발이야도 빼버렸어. 또 도발내는 것도 도발 치료했어. 도발 말레바이는 지금 말았어. 내가 이바 시작진도 그랬어. 도발내바이는 빼버렸어. 도발 말레는 내가 시작진도 그랬어.
Yeah, actually, it is very good to have a doubt. When we read or when we study, and then it's good to have doubt. Otherwise, if we do not have any doubt, any doubt about Dharma, then we will just regard it as it is, So without thinking about it, then we will just treat it as literal meanings. However, I mean, when we study Dharma, and because the words, the words is in the text, and it says that not allowed to stay in the house for 7 days. So such words come out. So when you see this, and you have to analyze it, and you have to think about the meaning of these words instead of taking it literally. So because it is the same, goes to perfection, Heart Sutra. So in the Heart Sutra, it also talks about no eyes, no ear, no nose, no tongue, right? So it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean literally that there is no eyes, there's no ears. So since we have eyes and we have nose, and if you say that, if you take it literally, then it will mean that there is no eyes. So it will totally go against the fact that we have eyes. So when we come across text, or when we study text and etc., we have to analyze, and then we have to understand the meaning behind those words. Yeah, thank you very much. And so this is very important, and then you should keep it in your mind. And because they are among us, and they are those who practice 6 sessions and those who have received the Tantra vows. So it's very important to have a proper understanding and to keep it in your mind. So to continue, middle length Lamrim. So we have come to, now we are at the greatness of a great mystic stopping by itself. Previously, we had short explanations. We briefly discussed about it, and today I would like to talk about it again.
다 사지 시바 니지 좀 뭐라고 그래 치와된 것도 사지 시바들 좋아 사지 시바데 다 사지 시바데 디 가서 뭐지 가서 지셔도 쉬자리 양자 제소지는 니지 좀 뭐라고 가서 좋아서다 치와 담보스나 끼니서다 좋아 다 치와 담보스인데 템바 탄진가 메도 비 치와 소로 탄진 당합 제 치와 제이 군바 데라드니 비 치와스 디로와 다 치와 대송게 란지를 대우데 그 니지 좀 뭐라고 가서 비 치와데 란주지 제그를 해서 보라 랑주지 리그레서 또 대나 리그레서 치와 담보 속에 에 소속 지라 대마이나 에 치와 시바데 에 랑주지 소소라 리그레서 로와 니지 좀 랑가도 치와데
Regarding these four greatnesses, and if we have these three greatnesses, understanding of these three greatnesses in our mind, and then the fourth greatnesses will come naturally. So if you understand the greatness of understanding all teachings as without contradictions, and if we have this understanding this greatness of all the Buddha's teachings occurring to you as instructions, and the greatness of allowing you easily to discover the victor's intention. If we have this understanding of these three greatnesses in our mind, this fourth, the greatness of great mystery stopping by itself will come naturally.
데니스가 다단다 서지 시바데 다 니지 좀 뭐랑가선도 세와데와 먼저 빼지 샤와이나 니지 랑가선도 세와데 만소 베지 샤바이나 신이 된수데 랑게 라마라페 로아 추기도 신이 아부 땜바 그거 제바다 신이 아부 추기는 땜바이나 다 게신이라 마기바다 마디바도 소다 랑가서 가는 해서 정시지 게신이라 왜 소소 대바다 이제다 신이 아부 추신도 땜바이나 다 게신이라 마디바다 마기바서 랑가서 yes 나라가 베테레 로아 니지 좀 뭐랑가서 로아세 치와 담보 속에 단다데 줄라데니 야부지 신바이나 단다 니지 소바 랑슈지 인가 치와 지도 그래 니지 뭐랑가 치와도 링리해서 단다.
Yeah, so to give you an example, so the example about guru devotions. So if we properly rely on our spiritual guru, relying on our spiritual friends, if we properly rely, like for example, having faith in the guru and respect the gurus. So if we properly rely on gurus in that manner, then this respect towards the guru and not having faith in the guru, so these will cease naturally, right? So when we have a respect for the guru and when we have a faith in the guru, then the opposite of it, which is not having faith in the guru and disrespect the guru, will naturally cease. So similar to this example, if we have the understanding of these first three greatnesses, then the last misdeed will cease by itself.
디 가스법이 내지 첨부 세와 디 니스한테 개침으로 안다 지당 와서 내지 mambo여와 고소 그 내지 mambo 쉬어와 먼저 내지 세와데 배 응하기 내지 진참마 지도서 응하고 내지로와 다 이지 나스니스 로다도서 이지 내지로와 내지로와 이지 내지레 다 리지페나 소체바다 배 신라 대바다 유발라서 버와 어디서마 리그 내지로와
So now we have to identify great misdeeds. So we have to identify great misdeeds. And for example, in general, when we talk about misdeed, and there are many different types. So it can be a physical misdeed, or it can be verbal or mental misdeed. Physical misdeeds such as killing, such as beating others, such as physically harming others. So those are physical misdeed. And verbal misdeeds such as speaking harsh words and etc. And mental misdeeds such as having harmful intentions or having covetousness, etc. So that is misdeed in general.
단 디가서 내지 첨부해서 원인 측다 내지다 단 데리다 딩에 숨바 제거래 만소 특바치니까 응에서 창제 탑된바다 데미지 소로도서다 주는 창제 탑된바다 소 된다도 뭐 와지
공나니 대체신기가
뒤지지 같은 거서 응에서 창제 탑데 응에서 창제 탑된 거로 와 응에서 창제 탑된바 다 데미지 소로도서라 냥리 제와라 주는 창제하게 탑된 거로 와 나도 소 제발 마시 바지 그러와 다 장주심바 이나 수디 냥리 제게 이나로와 다 간다 레당보하게 인들이 권한 디고 말해 다 뒤지지 병원에서 반 창제야 타도 습된구도 데미지 소라네 숨비 저도 배나 주는 창제야 타된바 이 단단 거 마시바 그 뒤지지 송가히 창제야 타도 된구도 데미지 속에 창제야 탑 된구도사 계속네 그러와 계시바서네 된디기 채반제 받아 다 데미지 송가히 창제 계속네 뒤지지 송도서다 창제야 탑된바다 상와 예 상보래셔 데미지 되는 순간 저도 가다 주니 타 상지하게 타기만 하고 먹어봐 딩해봐 zam보다 녀박이 쳐봐시 그러와 다 티지지 가다도 자주스 바나지 티지지 소로도서 러고 그래서 데미지 소로라 러고야 요 말해서 데 도샤스마디 오다 든디게 쳐봐순게 든디게 쳐봐 장이다 타상 마자다 녀서 링구 먹고다 든디게 쳐봐 신이 그러와 신이 되간다 소소게 데 니바사바데 아깜디 가서 니지 첨부서와다 추붕을 내사게 니지들이 다 단다데 추붕을 내 추치히들다 가서 추를 쉬사로와 어디 오다 니지 추히데 맞아 추붕을 내데 니지 첨부시로와 내가 차치 모시로 다데 추붕을 내데 들이다.
Yeah, so when we talk about great mystique here, so great mystique here, like for example, the proper understanding about Mahayana teachings and Hinayana teachings is Mahayana teachings directly shows the method to achieve the state of enlightenment, and Hinayana teachings it also shows the method to achieve the state of enlightenment as well. However, it shows indirectly. So it shows the method to achieve enlightenment, and it shows in the manner of indirectly. So if we do not have this proper understanding in relation to Mahayana teachings and Hinayana teachings, then we have a misunderstanding. For example, we regard some of the Mahayana teachings as a method to achieve the state of enlightenment, and then we regard some of the Mahayana teachings as not the method to achieve the state of enlightenment. And then we also have such understanding, thinking that Hinayana teachings is not the method to achieve the state of enlightenment. So if we have such understanding, and after having thought so, then we regard those teachings, which is a method to achieve the state of enlightenment, as a good dharma, as a good teachings. And we regard those due to our misunderstanding, and then we regard those so-called not the method to achieve the state of enlightenment as a bad teachings. So we differentiate the Buddha's teachings into good and bad, and then we further think that a bodhisattva or a practitioner should train in those particular so-called good teachings and should not train in those bad teachings. And those bad teachings, we regard it as an object of abandonment. So, and then no need to practice in it and etc. So these actions or this misunderstanding and then regard those so-called bad teachings as object of abandonment is an actions of abandoning Dharma. And these actions of abandoning Dharma is the great mystique that we are talking about.
간다로와 니 양자 진리시 지야 두신 다 특별 진배 깔아 자완 되시네 냥스 라와자 테미지선라 님반 되시네 오와시 오다 진리시 제바나 다 녀부 차치시데 인들다 다들 참하게 신바 제부로와 데케 첨보시라래.
Yeah, because of its importance to have a proper understanding in relation to this fourth greatness. So that is why I explain it again. So we should not differentiate the Buddha's teachings and then regard some of the Buddha's teachings as an object of abandonment. So if we were to do so, these actions of abandoning Dharma becomes the greatest, become the great mystique. Sorry.
다 간다 네바 첨부 레로가 준세의 가르스나 준세의 배나 다 데미지 되네라 꼬봤다 봐이나 데미지 되네 숨바부 때바 존디라 꼬방은 스톱 살다 간다
나본다.
데미지 되네라 꼬았다 봐이나 그 데미지 되네 숨바부 살이스나 숨바부 상지 존디 들어와 그 상지 존디라 꼬봤다 살다 다 상지 존디데 지금 말해 데미지 되네 되라 무슨 누가 냐니 지기 강사 가세요 상상을 꼬봤다 간다. 네가 최고의 준세다 시고로다. 최라 꼬봤다 어디 최 숨바보라 꼬봤대랬어. 와, 손지 최라 꼬봤대 최 숨바보. 루식이 수속 누가 냐네 지역에 최라 꼬봤다 어디 주바보 겐디 이나한다 침바 이나한다 주바보 냐네 지기 용조라 간다 꼬봤다 살았어. 루식 최라 꼬봤다 어디. 근데 손자 다 네가 찾기 이유가 준세들이다.
Yeah, we have to understand why we say abandoning Dharma becomes a great mystique. The reason is if we belittle or if we denigrate Hinayana baskets of teachings. So since we denigrate the teachings itself, then indirectly we also denigrate the speaker of Hinayana teachings, which is, and who is a speaker of the Hinayana teachings, is Buddha Shakyamuni himself. So if we denigrate the teachings, if we denigrate teachings, then indirectly we also denigrate the speaker of the teachings, which is Buddha himself. Not only we denigrate the speaker of the teachings, we also denigrate those who practice those teachings. Right? For example, it could be ordained persons, or it can be lay persons. So as long as they practice the Buddha's teachings, and then when you denigrate the teachings, then you also denigrate not only the speakers, you also denigrate the practitioners of the teachings. And because of these denigrations, then this makes these actions of abandoning Dharma become a great mystique.
Jambe se kanda Roma china ma sunga ro jambe se o dan jambe se Roma chiro Roma chira 이 Roma chira ni e shibage khachila pena mi senje khachila tiba chibu chede mares khachila ni tiba chibu chede ngores tiba chibu chede ngores ro khachila nga neteji tiba ngores khachila tiba chibu khachila ni neteji tiba ngores ro ngores 근데 때로도 네 네티지 태바디야라 티바 첨부디야 티 쳇바시네 땡고 땡바데 나 땡바 세마다 바다 에 신지라 쳇바시고르베 인지 제고르베스 로아 인지 제고르베스 로아 어디니 송거래 야니 닌지 신지 가실래 닌지 여바지 가실래 닌지 메바지 땡고 여르베스 로아 데송거래 데송거래 다데 데니 마로와스 로아 다 신지라 닌지 체주 다 베니지 체중 계자 마리스 로아 가질라 니티지 취시 가질라 테바미비 취시 가질라 테바 친구 취시 바데 상제기 페나 신지라 지통 체주 계자 마리스 자치레 제바 마리스 로아 자치레 제바 마리스 다 가실라 파 녀와다 가실라 장와 장리와서 가서 내리 계시고야 데미 레베스가 잠베 니 데미 레베스로 다 마 상지 오 데리 송거래 오 데리 송야 전세 가스나 오다 단다 네비네슬라 니 네티지 테바 란자지 테바 티지 테바스네 테바 송시자고 왔어 테바 송시는 니비나 신질라 내리다 체바 데리지네 테바 송시고 여레스 오다 데리 말 데네비네슬라 테바 찌마도 요 말다스 상지 데네비네슬라 테바 찌마도 니 테바 송고고요 마 테바 찌레스 단다시야 테바 찌 테바찌데 상지지 공부 테바 데랑레스 상지 테바 상지지 티지 테바 들어와 상지지 공부 테바 찌레스 테바 소마레 테바 찌레스 당에비네스라 다들 림바 덤비 땡고에 준세게 다 드자랑게 림바 이 랑리야 찌다 타투나 상지지 공부 테바 찌 토야 체도 내가다 테바 송이 나다 말아 dus 땡데 림바기데야 랑지 림바기도 디디 체도레스 아 디스워다 상지 매 상지게 대배 내리다 신지라 데 니지 체중들이 마로와스
So in the Buddha's teachings in Sutra, so it's also it says he called the name of the students called Jambe. So Jambe, Buddhas who to some Tathagata who give teachings, who give Mahayana teachings to some disciples and give hearers teachings to some. So does it mean Tathagata differentiate them? Does it mean Tathagata do not have a pure mind? Does it mean Tathagata discriminate those sentient beings? And so does it mean Tathagata have more compassions to some and have fewer compassions to some? So Tathagata, Buddha Shakyamuni asked the students these questions. So does it mean Buddhas have high regard for some students and have lesser regards for some students, and they take some of the students closer and regard some of and push some of the students further? So does Tathagata do so? So is what we recite in the Four Immeasurables. Yeah, regard some dear and then push some others far. So does Tathagata have such regards or have such considerations? So Buddha's Tathagatas taught Hinayana vehicle, taught hearer vehicle. So Tathagata also taught solitary realizers vehicle, and Tathagata also taught Mahayana vehicles, the teachings of these three vehicles. So what does it mean is Buddha do not teach three different types of vehicles. In fact, Buddha only taught one vehicle. So that vehicle is the vehicle to the state of enlightenment. So Buddha do not have different compassions towards different sentient beings. Buddhas do not have different regards for different sentient beings. Their compassions towards different types of students are exactly the same. So, in fact, when Buddhas taught three vehicles, in fact, it is only one vehicle, which is the vehicle to the state of enlightenment. So, so it is taught, and these vehicles are taught for the disciples to gradually ascend or to achieve the state of enlightenment. And thus, the gradual paths are taught to different vehicles.
Sanji desonda ngala tepa thadeba global mess song sanji ngala tepa thadeba goya mess tepa thadeba ji goya mess tepa chin sro tepa thadeba ni ti tepa ra tepa ti tepa ro ngala tepa thadeba goya mess thadu tepa chi modo goya mess desong bare tepa chi junse kasna chuji ranghi nelu de chi modo moduas chuji ranghi nelu de chi res de toji 또바 타도바의 지레스
최기 장신
저 최단지 그런이 내는데 지레스 와 내는 지르와 타도 내는 지르와스 대 동그게 또바 타도바 지레스고 또바 타도바지 근데 대 동그게 또바 타도바 지게 대간다 상지지 공바 대바지리야 토바 디시고래 내가 나시 나라 대바 타도바 뭐야마도 대바 지레 얘나 대바송 근데 상지게 대바 지 러시 대바송 때나 난 개완 누구 믿으상 맞아 도바 레오와 다 상지기 티바타도 지인세 야 티바손 땡게도 상지로 티바 지인 생게도 상지래 티바손 땡게도 상지래 나 가르치는 게 무슨 개와 누구다 가서 실랑 개와 누구다 맞아 상담바 야보 담아도 바이나 실랑 개와 나시 통거다 다 된단 개와 누구요 말 다 상지기 티바손 땡게 거야다 가르스나 나손 렘보 리카르 토보 디카나 세들랑 맞아 녀바도 로고요나 니마지 랑자 딜라 칠로구나 노트고 말와 오 리케발라 니마치 딜라 칼라 테네 헬레진 데사시 니바들라 야디 간자질라 검질라 고샤송제네 dumbu송타네 칼라산에 헬레치 스봉 나소 데니마 송바들라 이 간라레토 오 상제 데베 탈락해바리 에스 탈락해바 상지 탈락해 봤습니다. 되자야 깔리카 나와 매봐. 좋아 매봐. 에 가가 뚜둥아니야. 간다. 도시야 거르질이야. 레트워크. 다 든디기 탈락해 봤습니다. 인구를 예수를 간다. 티바소 돼야 돼. 왜 든디리마도 간다 도도 가서 로서 가래 질 지고 있나. 어디 니마질 나서 로그나 에 바지 당치네. 이 로 마야 가서 로바기 투바지가 내가 여러고. 야 가이네카 기차 걸러내야 군도가 내가 여러고. 왜 내나시리스. 다 상지 탈락해 봤습니다. 두스레스고. 디시에 전단에 상지 아무도 손으로
Yeah, so in fact, if we were to look at the literal meaning that, so Buddha himself said that I don't need 3 vehicles. I only need, except one, I don't need the others. So that what is the one vehicle, which is the vehicle to achieve the state of enlightenment. So I myself don't need 3 types of, I do not need 3 vehicles. In fact, there is only one vehicle to achieve the state of enlightenment. Just like the ultimate mode of existence of all phenomena is only one, and the knower, the knower or the one who realizes it is only one, which is the ultimate conceptions, that to realize the ultimate mode of existence, the only one ultimate mode of existence of all phenomena. So if we were to take it literally, this one vehicle that you mentioned just now, vehicle to achieve the state of, vehicle to enlightenment, and 3 different types of vehicles. So if we were to take it literally, then it seems contradictory, right? Because now just previously you say 3, now you say 1. It seems different. It seems contradictory. And however, this we should understand that one vehicle is to achieve the state of enlightenment. 3 vehicles is also for the sake of achieving the state of enlightenment. So the words though seems contradictory. However, the meaning is not contradictory at all. So to give you an example to help you to have a better understanding. So just like a travel guide, a Sherpa, for example, a travel guide who brings a few travelers who wants to conquer a high mountain. So this travel guide, so instead of bringing, so if this travel guide able to reach the top of the mountain in one day, however, the travelers, they are not able to reach the top of the mountain in one day. So if this travel guide were to guide those travelers to reach the top of the mountains in one day, first is not possible, and there is a great danger that they will become very tired, and because of this tiredness, then they will get angry whenever you say anything to them. So instead of bringing those travelers to reach the top of the mountain in one day, so slowly this travel guide, so first bring these travelers to one part of the mountain. So reach there and then give food, and then let them rest, and etc. And then slowly bring them to the middle part of the mountain. Again, give food and then let them rest. And third day, then this travel guide bring them reach the top of the mountains. So these travelers will be able to reach the top of the mountains by the skillful means of this travel guide. So similarly, this Tathagata or Buddha is so skillful that they guide different types of sentient beings according to their ability in order to reach the only one destination, which is the state of enlightenment. So these 3 vehicles, they are not contradictory. And this travel guide, Tathagata, so they do not feel tired and they do not feel weary because of bringing those travelers again and again, or expand the durations. So they do not feel tired, and instead they feel very happy. They feel very happy, and then they show the path to 3 different types of travelers or disciples.
다 두신이로 다데 가서 사치 시고데 진짜 점마들 가서 사지 시고 다 사지 시고 개청 보시라래 땜바 탄전 가면도 배치와 서로 탄전 당합 집에 자유 금바 되라니 니지만 한 배치와 사지 시요와 사지 시기 된다데 뭐래니 참아 가진 리시시사이 다 진짜 제마트랑 아주 니 좋아 당이 있어와 사지 시고래리 된다 도도래 예 사지도 콜 고와 질려 보이나 당 외에서 되는 참아하고 살아서와 뭐 땜바 탄전 가면도 된다 간이 가시 샤사로와 땜바 탄전 가면도 땜바 탄전 가면 또 되라 롱그 땜방 가면 또 당지다 또비 땜방 가면 또 당니 시사인바 니니 시사래 데데지라 서로 탄지 당가서 차이 채워서 니기 된다 지시사이 데지라 제이 공부 대라니 비치와 니기 된다 시래 다 시가 니지 뭐랑 가지고 채워서 데사지 시고도 베케이션 버려 다데 단단히 좋았다나요 디스 야 상호판 디스 하데지 진짜 제마를 니 좋았다나 렌제도 같이 제로 치스로와 니 데레레 좋았다는 있어와
Yeah, so in next class, so regarding these four greatnesses, the greatness of understanding all teachings as without contradiction, the greatness of all of the Buddha's teachings occurring to you as instructions, the greatness of allowing you easily to discover the victor's intention, the greatness of a great misdeeds stopping by itself. So these four, I have already explained the nature of each greatnesses of each greatness. So next week I will ask questions about these four greatnesses. What is the nature of it, and your understanding in relation also the nature of these four greatnesses. Like for example, the greatness of understanding all teachings as without contradiction. Then I have explained that all Buddha's teachings, the scriptural teachings as without contradictions, and all scriptural teachings as without contradictions. So these I have already explained. So I will ask you in next class. So the second one, the second greatness and the third greatness, I also explained the meanings in relation to each greatness already. So because of its importance, so I will ask you all questions about these four greatnesses next class. So make sure that you're able to give me the answer.
사지 담보데 들어와 다 담보데 들어와 최콩좀 받기 무슨 제법이죠 당할 기법이 취지죠 다 치원이다 dimbe 칠라니 히지다 자와 사지 숨바 들어와 다 사지 숨바데 얼마 쉬어있어.
So to continue just now is, so please make sure that you understand, and then understand the meaning, understand the explanations about these greatnesses, and then make sure that you're able to give me the answer. So we have these four root outlines of Lamrim. So they're showing the greatness of the author in order to show that his Dharma is a pure source, showing the greatness of his Dharma in order to generate respect for the instructions. So we have already gone through the first two root outlines already. So now we will begin the third root outline, how the Dharma possessing those two greatnesses should be listened to and explained.
딜레 간다 치원이의 디메치는 히지다 자와지 딜레 간다 니비츠 히비츠 인주도 티모체 추즈 딜레 사지 도도 손이 다들 나노 손데 시버지다 데카도 가서 빼 가서 결성도에 걸리 제고도 데카스니 또 사지 그런 진리 단다시 냐네 지안 지켜서와 네 빼게 전부 상마디가 도나야 부대로 시서와 네가수라 가서 결성도에 걸리 제고도 indicas de lichia la pena candido that is some diga liga roa de pe ketchum boris no jon chetan diga liga sta.
Yep. So under these third root outlines, then they are three three outlines or three divisions. So the first one is how to listen. The second one is how to explain, and the third one is generally how to proceed at the end. So previously, I also gave explanations about it, that how to listen and how to explain. And this is the point that we have to pay attention to it, because it talks about how we study the Dharma.
니비츠 히비츠 뉴도 티모체 손서 당가서 취 니비츠 지당 다 시비 시당 간이메 년당 간이메 시당 간이메 단 주디야 뭐와 간이 지고메 이게 너도 돼서 들어와 너도 돼서 들어와 어다 아무 니츠들랑 가서 이제 시고 소요 다 토마 년발라 비 지디 비다 최모랑 가서 그보다 정도 간이 지고메 다 니츠무에도 간이메 어디 손도 사지레레 그로 고시버 사지레레 되나다 가서 하고는 되고 너도 니즈 코로나 송도와.
Yeah. So the third has 3 points: how to listen, how to explain, and generally how to proceed at the end. So this is the subdivisions under this root, the third root outlines. And again, when we this first division, how to listen, again divided into 3. So the first one is how thinking about the advantages of listening to the Dharma, developing respect for the Dharma and those who teach the Dharma. And the third one is the actual way to listen. So under this, the first outline, how to listen, again divided into 3. So basically, when we talk about how to listen is how to listen to Dharma teachings, in what way we listen to teachings, and how to explain is how to explain the teachings, and generally how to proceed at the end is at the end, then how do we conclude the sessions, or how do we do dedications.
당아서 대 도마들의 퇴비 총서와 당보 로아 최티빈 표현 상바들 아주 퇴비 총세 진도와 다들 지지 지요 다들 니와 전부 쇼래 다 지지 들 상무 쉬고 동아야 퇴비 최는 10번지 퇴비 딜도 봐지 퇴비 경망이 봐봐 퇴비 양인 대봐 토서 다들 쇼로가 진도와 다 대패 개청벌에 다 되게 문 저런서 딜 상당도 바이나 야부 쇼저스디.
So under this, thinking about the advantages of listening to the Dharma. So first, from verses about listening. So from verses about listening, then there is this great stanza, and it is very good to think about it, and it is very important to think about it as well. And this stanza is, through listening, you come to know the phenomena. Through listening, bad actions are reversed. Through listening, the meaningless is abandoned. Excuse me. Through listening, nirvana is achieved. So it's very important, and it is very powerful for us to think about.
다들 있습니다. 간다데 퇴비총 세워데 가르스나 디 산지기 송게 체도집이 총세와 디 체도집이 총들라 레우순지 소송다 방법식이 디바레 체도집이 총세와데 담보 퇴비총데 체도집이 총 레우순지 소송 여르데 디너로 레우니 히자니 바데 다데 퇴비총세와 레우니 히자니 바데.
Yeah, so these verses about listening is one of the chapter in the collections of verses. Yeah. So these verses about listening is one of the chapter in the text called collections of verses. So those. Yeah. So is the Buddha's teachings. So in these particular text collections of verses, they are 33 chapters and separate and in 4 volumes. So 33 chapters in 4 volumes. And these particular verses about listening, this chapter is the 22nd chapter.
산지 존데데 체도 집에 총대 간다 산지 존데데가 사자 가와 이나 페이카라 디자라 미세 체도미네 들이 디자라마 가와 이나 파 사자나 페이카라 근데 지지 근데 카두페 디자라 체도미네 숨바 어 근데게 체도미네 숨바 지지서다 다 시즈 다좀바 지접 센지어 당하나와 다좀바 지접게 더 퇴비고 숨비 지지 강가다 간다 쇼치의 츠디네 세소발라 퇴비총세 맞죠 지지 강가 쇼치의 디네 총세 세소야 들어와 송사弄是第二个是吧？对，没到过苏比直接刚刚的学期的你比直接的了，没当比冲上。我等地刚才接下来当年的冲做些没大的嘞，但是特别冲是那么多，我的那种把继续直接刚刚的学期的直接是定的，那特别冲是都是大家基本的是看到了，直到切的这个冲是等到的时候，接下来切的没得送把刚刚的直接的学期的这个切的这个冲是送来的了吧？
Yeah, so these collections of verses. So collections of verses also, there is the usual translations regarding this Udana Varga. So these Udana Varga or collections of verses, and in other words is verses, intended verses, or specified verses. So the author of this text is Buddha himself, and so Buddha went to different places and at different occasions, and when Buddha met with different disciples, then Buddha gave the teachings in verses to those particular disciples, and then in later times, this Arhat Dhammatra. So this Arhat Dhammatra or Arhat Chokyop. So Chokyap and Chokyap, right? And this Arhat Dhammatra, or in Tibetan is called Arhat Chokyap. Arhat Chokyap, Jajumba Chokyap. So this Arhat Dhammatra, then he compiled all these Buddha's teachings, those in verses, and then compiled it into a collections of verses. Like for example, those chapters in these collections of verses is divided based on its object of discussions. Like for example, if the verses talks about impermanence, then this Arhat Dhammatra then compile all the verses about impermanence into this chapter chapter called impermanence, or you can say verses about impermanence. So these different chapters is named after different object of discussions.
나 근데서 단다 상지 존딩이 지지 대송 고야기 준세의 가르쳐 단다 특히 송진도와 지지 쇼로가 진도와 대 상지 존딩이 뭐마 사지기 상지 존딩을 저거 쉽게 말해서 저거 쉽게는 저거 쉽게 렌시들했지 아무 뜻이 않아.
Yeah. So regarding this particular stanza in the text, through listening, you come to know the phenomena, and this is the answers, four answers for the questions asked by God beings. So these God beings asked Buddha 4 questions, and Buddha gave 4 answers in this one verse.
다 좋아시대 간디고 말해서나 엔디고 말해 좋아 담보들라 랑도기 치나 간디진이 셰구리 예스네 랑도 치나 강기 시반 주스네 좋아 담보들이로와 랑도기 치나 간디진이 셰구리 예스 좋아 디발레 간디진이 도바 셰구리 예스 디발레 간디진이 도바 셰구리 예스 좋아 니바 더 somebody 대마이 베 나이즈 간디 뽕그레스 간디진이 뽕그레스로와 간디진이 뽕그레스 에 시바데 타바냥디데 간디진 토바 제고레스 간 토바 지게데 디 두어시리케다 다디라 두어시라 린시 따다 딘도 그리고.
Yeah. So these 4 questions asked by the God beings to Buddha is the first one. The first line is the answer to the first questions. The first question is how to know all the phenomena of object of abandonment and object of adoptions. So this is the first questions. How to know all the phenomena of object of adoptions and object of abandonment. The second question is how to reverse bad actions. How to reverse bad actions, or how to turn away from negative actions. The third one is how to abandon the meaningless ones, the meaningless which is distractions. So how to abandon the meaningless which is distractions. And the last question is how to achieve nirvana. So these 4 lines is the exact answer for these 4 questions.
다데 담보디게 퇴비체나 셰번주세 지지 담보디게 좋아 담보디게 렌에 따단 도도와 다 좋아 담보되게 좋아 담보되 랑도 치나 간디진 시구레스네 데 좋아던데 상지 좀 되게 네 저랑 롱 데네스나 태바 치쇼스 롱 데네스 야보니 데 로제 근데 태바 치바 데라 때니 데 랑도 고치나 싱글레스 랑도 치나 싱글레스로와 네 먼저 담보 태바 마지나 데 상당 두고 말와 싱 말와 오 태바 치바 롱 데네스나 저랑 태바 치 태바지나 저 랑도지 체도 신호를 해서 렌다다 되래.
So to the first question is how to know all phenomena. So how to know phenomena. So this phenomena refers to object of abandonment and object of adoptions. And to these questions, Buddha replies. Then you have to listen to the scriptural teachings. So you have to listen to the scriptural baskets of teachings, and you have to listen to and you have to study them. So by listening, by studying, then you will know the object of adoptions and object of abandonment. Without listening to it, without studying it, you will not know the phenomena of abandonment and adoption.
다 좋아님버디 들어와 내지 디발레 간디 도바 체브레스 딜로디 다 님바데 테비 딜레 도바 시에스 로디 다 저랑 그때 롱데네스나 테바치스 근데 테바치바 델라 때네 수준지 라바디 토르고 그래서 테바치바 델라 때네 수준지 라바 토르고 그래서 수준지 라바 근데 수준지 라바 토발라 때네 내지 내가 내지 또 토르고 그래서 내가 내지 디바 강가다 도바치 그래 수준지 라바 토발라 때네 내가 내지 또 그래 수준지 라바 토발라 롱데네스나 앞에 근데 테바치바라 때네 대체로 딜라 퇴상전에 수준이 라바 토 그랬어. 수준이 라바 토 받은 때 리가가 내지 또 그래서 딜렌데스 거.
Yeah. So the second question is how to reverse bad actions, and the answer to this is through listening. Then bad actions are reversed. So by listening to the scriptural baskets of teachings, then one will come to know the phenomena of adoptions and abandonment. Then by knowing it, then one will engage in the training of morality. When you achieve when you engage in the training of morality, then you reverse the bad actions of body, speech, and mind, of physical three doors.
That somebody TV 대망이 뭐 본서 되게 가르치고서나 다 하더라 간다처럼 놈 되네스라 대바 제발라 떼네 되냐래지네 간다 띵은지 라바디 토로 그래서 띵은지 라바 토도 그래서 대바 맞이나 띵은지 라바 토도 말했어 근데 놈 되네스 대바 제발라 떼네 되죠 띵은지 라바디 토 그래 띵은지 라바라 떼네 또 대망이 나이데 되게 본 그래서 로주지 본 그래서
Sorry, the second one, through listening, bad actions are reversed. Here refers to the physical and verbal negative actions. So by listening to the scriptural baskets of teachings, then one will achieve the training in morality, and by achieving the training of morality, these physical and verbal negative actions will naturally reverse. And the third line, it says, through listening, the meaningless is abandoned. So again, through listening to the scriptural baskets of teachings, then one will achieve the training of concentrations. So by achieving the training of concentrations, then this meaningless will naturally be abandoned.
That 다 대비기 난데 토고스나 다 상지게 롱 데네스나처럼 개바치네 이 셔럽딜라바데 지 토고레스 근데 셔럽딜라바 데라 때네 대처럼게 남데 다치도 공부 토고레스 다치도 공부 토고레스 거
Yeah. So the fourth line, through listening, nirvana is achieved. So by listening to the three scriptural baskets of teachings, then one will be able to cultivate the training of wisdom, and by cultivating training of wisdom, then one will be able to achieve the state of nirvana, or one will be able to achieve the state of arhat.
다 간다 지지 시로가 지지지 마도 못와 다 지지 되게 된다 전부 쉬고 되는 거래 간다 간저데 지지 대선 거에 다 데니송도 되는 거도와 데니송 들어와 제지기 롱 데니송 제자 라바송 되는 거도와 다 티비치나 히바지 티비 딜레 도바시에서 지지 담보 되니까 다 간다 제지기 롱 드이 되는 치고 드이 되는 제지 드이 되는 제자 수준지 라바리 되는 거지. 담보 티비치나 히바지 티비 딜레 도바시에서 지지니도와 어다 되게 란도그 치나 히네 대마이비 나이 치기도 내지로 또 치기 대수는 때 내지 도는 그래서 수준지 라바리 치고 그래. 예 지가 담보 되게 간다 되네 소나로 뉘되네 와
지금 담보니나 지금 담보이
지가 담보니 티비치나 히바지 티비 딜레 도바시에서 제지 뉘되네 게 숑이 님보다 다 제자 수준지 라바리 되는 거지. 수준지 라바리
Yeah, so this one verse of 4 lines, and though is just one verse, however, it contains the great meaning in this one verse. So, I said the expressor again. So, expressor and expressions. Yeah. So the expressor, it shows the expressor the 3 baskets of teachings, and it shows the 3 expressions, which is 3 trainings. So expressor, 3 baskets of teachings, and the expressions, 3 trainings. So the first 2 lines, through listening, you come to know the phenomena. Through listening, bad actions are reversed. So these first 2 lines shows the Vinaya. Sorry, it shows the Vinaya baskets of teachings, and the object of expressions is the training in morality.
뉘되네지 숑시래라는 이거. 뉘되네 제진 뉘되네지 숑시래서는 이거. 숑시다고 언진 뉘되네 차오데.
뉘되네요. 담보니데.
어디.
야.
다 님바데 간다.
So these first 2 lines shows the Vinaya baskets of teachings, and its object of discussions, object of expressions is training in morality. And so by through listening, then you will know the object of abandonment and object of adoptions. Then you will be able to develop training in morality, and then bad actions are reversed.
That's 지지 somebody 특히 대만인 바본서 와데 도디 되네게 다 숑시 인로는 이거로와 도디 되네 제제 도디 되네 장고를 제자데 디가서 로와 특히 대만인 바도 띵은지 라버데 때우디 대만인 바 나이데 온라 다다 시오도와 로와 띵은지 라버데 시오디 대만인 나이데 다다 가르고 어디선서 띵은지 라버 때우도와
Yeah, so the 3rd line, through listening, the meaningless is abandoned. So again, the expressor is the sutra baskets of teaching, and the object of expression is training in concentration. So by through listening, then one will be able to cultivate the training in concentrations. Then the meaningless is abandoned. So meaningless here refers to distractions. So the meaningless distractions is abandoned.
다 지지 시바되게 티비 양인데 봐 토서와 되게 간다들에 응비 되네기 숑시로와 응비 되네 다데 응비 되네 숑시 다 제자의 셔럽지 라바데 되는 거래 근데 셔럽지 응비 되네기 데레 계산 제발라 되네 데 간다 라바 셔럽지 라바지네 라바 셔럽지 라바 되게 또지 답이 냥데 다시 공부 도바데 셔럽지 라바데 되는 도와.
The 4th line is, through listening, nirvana is achieved. So the expressor is, it shows the expressor is Abhidhamma baskets of teachings, and its object of expressions is training of wisdom. So through listening, one will cultivate training in wisdom, and by depending on training in wisdom, one will be able to achieve the state of nirvana.
that Cici chance pet thing out on into two by in that Cici or out on into the Gila Sama that Sanji dog Sirwa, dog sit the fish shoji Roa, Nanjing was a tapa consa jungle jumbo chogi, and also Tesam Loni chair, Guba says and that Tebak appearance some of the whole Ligroa. What that then it's Cici and that Cici Chibude, that big never shortage Roa, Gila Sama Yabustamina. That Labasonga did Kinswa, and the Labasonga did not Kinswa.
Yeah, so this particular verse is the sutra, is the words from sutra, and is very important. And it's very good to think about it, and it's also very good to memorize it. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama always exhort or encourage the students to listen to the teachings, to contemplate the teachings, and to study the teachings. So this one verse already shows the 3 baskets of teachings.
That Cici Shibuti Dembashi Tengoria. That's the Labason Tenswa. Labason Tensare, Labason Tensading as a passion to that doing a pusher, Topi Temba Yonzo, the Labason Disarwa. That's something Kanda Chibu Jetty you to Nebuchadnezzar in the Disarwa, Nebuchadnezzar in the Tensare. That the Yanja was Dembashi, Dembashi and Dembashita Tengorti.
Yeah, so this one verse not only shows the 3 baskets of teachings, and it also contains 6 perfections in it. It also contains 4 ways of gathering the disciples in this one verse also. So not only it contains the 6 perfections, 4 ways of gathering the disciples, and not only it shows 3 baskets of teachings, and it also shows the 4 noble truths.
That Dembashi Kantuna, Siga Tambuti, Tubichina, Shepanjuru, Tubichina, Shepanjusa, Digi, Dunga Shepa Shas, Dunga Shepa Shas, Tepa Latine, the Tindi Dunga, Shingri, Roa, Tepa Shepaline, the Dunga de Kandime, Shingri, Yusaka, Kandime, the Shingri, Tambuti, Dunga Shepa Shas, Nanjing as Loya, Dunga Shepasha, Kinju Ponga, Wopanga, Langumba Shas, Roa, or that Siga Tambuti. The
Kopangun du Jaro. Yeah. So this first line, as I said, it also shows 4 noble truths. The first line shows the truth of suffering. So through listening, you come to know the phenomena. So it shows the truth of sufferings is through listening. You will know the sufferings. You will know sufferings. So regarding the 4 noble truths, there is explanations, or there is a statements in relation to 4 noble truths, which is very common and very famous as well. So truth of sufferings is to be recognized. Truth of origin is to be abandoned. Truth of origin is to be actualized. Truth of cessation is to be actualized, and truth of path is to be cultivated. So this first line, through listening, you come to know the phenomena, relates to the first noble truth of suffering.
That Nimbadilla, Tibi did Doba Shesna, that in the Toba Sheba Delatine, don't Kinju Ponshas, didn't work. Tibi this deeper Karsana, deeper leather Nyamu by any roa. Later Nyamboni was Diba, Pongware, the later Nyamba, Dini Pongwa, or Diba, Tangaso, Tapatoela, Karit, Dipa Cardosan, later Nyamba Dele, Doba Chebra, De Pongwa, or De Pongwa, Tipi, the Nitepa Shibatine, Dipa le Doba Che, so the Kunju Doba Chibat, Kunju Poncha, the thing where Kunju Karit the Ponch, Kunju de la Lech with the name of Kunju so Dinirwa, Dini. Doba Chigres, or did Doba Chigres, the Doba is not Pomba.
So the second line, through listening, bad actions are reversed. So in order to achieve the state of liberations, then we have to abandon negativities. And negativities here refers to karma and afflictions. So through listening, then the bad actions or negativities of karma and afflictions will be abandoned. Which is the truth of origin. Yeah. So the bad actions here refers to karma and afflictions, and karma afflictions is the origin. So the truth of origin. So so through listening, the truth of origin are reversed or will be abandoned.
다 대만이베 특히 대만이 봐봐서 다 고딘이 된 거래. 고딘 들어와. 특히 대만이 봐서 고딘이 된 거래. 다 간다 고딘 되게 다 간다 디톱 번 거와. 에 레다 녀모니까 니데 수입 본 것이나 다 고딘이 번 거와. 고딘이 번 거와. 대만이베 간다 녀모 받쳐서 수입 본 것이나 다 고딘이 번 거래스.
The through listening, the meaningless is abandoned, the third line. So he shows the truth of cessations. So who abandon the karma and afflictions, which is the truth of cessations. Truth of cessation abandons karma and afflictions.
단 타마데 티비 냥인 데바토스나 다 랑곰발라 띠니 다 랑곰발라 네보 랑곰발라 띠니 다 냠디 토그리 에스디 치고 와 랑곰발라 띠니 다 랑곰서와데 토니도비 시테 곰발라 띠니 다 냠데 다주고 곰발데 토그리 에스고 저디 뎀바시 맞아 인데 시기 제마가 있다 외수 바탄 치고입니다 두세모도.
So and last line, through listening nirvana is achieved, and this shows the truth of the path. And truth of the path here refers to the antidotes to eliminate. And the antidotes here refers to wisdom realizing emptiness. And by cultivating this path, then one will achieve nirvana. So the last line shows the truth of the path. And so we are just identifying each line. It shows which noble truths. So I will not go deep into the explanations.
저들이 계시하기니까 도와드리느냐 디센도 사지로와 다 산이 디리마 월마 티비촌에 마티 월 산들만 두고 제로 붙이기도와 제로 되게만 두고 있어와.
Yeah, so I will stop here for question and answer, and next class I will start from the Garland of Birth stories.
다 제로 되고도 저 로로시 스페야 오르스와.
Yeah, so before next class, then it's good to read in advance.
No. We have question.
If no questions, then
okay, Sheila. Yeah, may I ask one question? Can you hear me?
And you are standing in the directions of your fans or something.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Better.
Okay. I just want to know the three turnings of the wheels of Dharma. Okay, for this, what is the timeline between each turning of the wheels of Dharma? Let's say from the first to second, roughly is how many years? Or then from second to third is how many years? Like something like that. Is there any record on all this? The time the turning of the wheel of Dharma is when is this taught by the Buddha itself.
So, 중국 송기 꼴라 간디슈아유스. 중국 송이나 중국 당보다 니바 디파울라 투츠 가사 디 중국 당보이나 데 로가츠 디 송바레스. 아니 디 중국 당보 다 니바 디파울라 투츠 동바 투츠 기 기바 동바 가르 유레스. 투츠 중국 니바 당 송바이나 디파울라 투츠 가 에사 로가츠 디 로기 꼴라.
중국 당보
니바 송바 아니 디 당보 다 니바 이 빠르게 가지고 니바다 숨바니 이 빠르게 가지고
로드스 가지레스 다 딩이 다다 데마스 콜 제일 맞으 신주 제일 맞아 로 장가 하고 마스다스 단단한 게 되고 못스 데 빠르라 간다 친구 당보 와라나서 님바 샤기 공부를 숨바 양바치도 거려 다서 로 가디 보이나 딩이 땡데 다라마스스 데 제일가 가싱가 제일 다라나 제일 레테구스
Yeah, so regarding these three turning wheels of first three turning wheels of Dharma, so I do not remember well. I'll say for how long the first turning wheel and how many gaps in between of the first turning wheel and the second turning wheel. So in the future, if I happen to come across these explanations, then I will give the answer. I will explain it in the class. So, however, for the first turning wheel of Dharma, it happened is at Varanasi, and the second turning wheel of Dharma is at Vulture Peak, and the third turning wheel of Dharma was at Vaishali.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Gisela. Tachadele, Gisela. The question on abandoning the Dharma or not forsaking any of the Dharma of Buddha's teachings, the scriptures and the realized teachings. So my question is, does that include, that means all the Tangyo, the commentaries and later commentaries by great masters, all the Karma, Dharma teachings, all have to be accepted. We cannot abandon any of them. Is it right? Including the Karma, Dharma. You know, there are Dharma teachings which is not in our tradition, but they are also, I presume, is Buddha's teachings. And then the later commentaries, all these have to be accepted, is it?
So, any the 초봉기 레이 콜라 컨디션이스, any 추탐 상기기 템바 탐지, 룽기 템바 당 도비 템바 the 가사 the 가사 르마 당레, any the city, any the 상기기 템바 탐지 봉에 요 말이스, any the 상기기 템바 탐지 세야 the 땡규 the 콜라 the 상기기 템바라 주기요나스, any the 테르마 요라기라 테마, any 가사 도 나로라 배하기 추되는 여러 덴바 아니 가시기양 추네 던베 데 추여와 데르마세 데 페나체샤나 구르는 부치기 데 배야드네 여러 가시기 데 남가라 배야 가시기 도라 배야 가시기 겸조라 배야 말외기라 아니 디 데르마 데마 아주 딱디 데르마이나 덴마
데르베사
덴마르베 덴마 하 Yes, and it determine decola, and it changma de tang jeba, kangi jeba de yoro, and it de changma de sangi temba tamji de dugi wenas.
Da kanda shil ma chen ngazo sanji temba de long temba topi temba ni yores wa. Da topi temba ngazo kamje da tenji gu pe da soro bonde de cheba chama de da kandi jesha gune cheba ma cheba tenji khura da long temba no dinu gures pe kamje da tenji gu Quran shizachi roa ta kanji ngason de shije tenji de roa ta tenji zo yanjan dewa mambo yuroa o ta ka tenji ge dewa bonde de cheba chama long temba na dinu kres ta kanda jesha kandi china majina chama tenda jeshi ge long temba chago resko
kaza jeja da jeje kiware
jeshi kanda ka tenji kuro jesha kari jena majina ta chotanje rang de chinji tuba temba da marang chi ma duba kandi ji temba ina jeshi kanga kanda lungu tembarwa jeshi kanga lungu tembarwa ta lungu tembase so shiza tsa da kanju de tegin dewa tenju ta tenju de sola yanjan dewa mamu yugurwa ta dusu chama kanda lungu temba no dilu gres
lungu temba de yura
lungu temba dilu gres
yeah. So all Buddha's teachings, as you said, that includes the scriptural teachings and the realizational teachings. So in brief, is all teachings together with their commentaries. All teachings together with their commentaries. Like for example, the scriptural teachings, the base text is Gangyu, and depending on this Gangyu, then Tengyu comes, and Tengyu is the commentaries on Gangyu, and depending on this Tengyu, again there comes commentaries. So basically, all the Buddha's teachings together with their commentaries are included in the Buddha's teachings or included in the scriptural teachings. So that are included. Those are included.
Thank you.
Kishila, Margaret, here I have a question.
Yeah.
Kishila,
Yes.
just to clarify my thoughts on about 3 turnings, is the 3 Dharma turnings. The first turning is the Buddha taught selfless of a person. Second turning is a selfless of phenomena. That's why they say no form. No form is emptiness, emptiness is form. So the Heart Sutra comes in. And the third turning, is it a special teachings?
Yeah. And the Chungu Sungi Kola can you share yours? Chungu Tambo in that Sangi Chumdin Degi, the Kansaki Dame, the numbers, Chungu Niba de Chugi Dame, in the Chungu de numbers, and it Chungu Niba Nibi Kabla, the Shamningo de Tomachumdin Degi, the Tin numbers, and the Chungu Suma de Timba and the Chudi Miseries.
중국 송박이 느낀 거를 시와요도 장기 진지 좀 본다 있지는 내매되고 세니소리 나야 센자박은 대바 나시 세니소요라 시와 용두 본다
세니소
시와 세니소들라 시와 용두 본다
연주
본다
근다
대소로와 다 대소노라 간다 시와 용두 장기 진지 주바다 본다고 치듯이 내매된 거를
시와이나
시와 용두네 장기 진지 주바
진이기 주바
군다 치는 덴바르메 같은 거 유저 또 대소 그랬어
덴바메바
덴바메바 군다 치는 데메 세니송은 나샤 띵 거랬어
군다기 추요
군다기 추 데메 띵 거랬어
데메
콜라 타마티기 유저 송도가 다또 디네게 송 디네 거라 신화 용도 장게 신지 주바데 군다기 치는 데메 띵 거랬어 콜라 타마티기
신지 주바데 야 세상 많이 됐죠. Yeah, so the third turning wheel of Dharma, it has the object of expressions or the teachings is about the 3 types of phenomena. The 3 types of phenomena that is in accordance with the assertions of mind-only school, Citta Matra, and these 3 phenomena or these 3 object of expressions. The first one is other powered phenomena, and the second one is thoroughly established, and the third one is imputed. So first one is other powered phenomena, the second one is thoroughly established phenomena, and the third one is imputed phenomena. The first 2, other powered and thoroughly established phenomena, is taught as exists by way of its own characteristics. So the first 2 types of phenomena, it was taught to exist by way of its own characteristics, and the third type of phenomena, imputed phenomena, was taught as non-truly existent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kishila.
That's true. Yeah. Kisha Tige, do you have any other question before we conclude the sessions? If not, then we will conclude the sessions with dedication.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ishla, since we are here and we don't want to repeat this 3 turning of the wheel, I checked and found the answer for self questions. The first turning of the Dharma is soon after Buddha attained enlightenment. Within 49 days after that, he taught Four Noble Truths. The second one is actually 500 years later. It taught to a Bodhisattva. So, and the third one is soon after the second, he taught the third in Vaisali. So it's about similar time, 500 years. So that I hope Gishla don't have to look for the answer.
Yeah, good, very good.
Because 중국 담보이나 대상기에 니마 십주 शेगु 있잖아. 아니 중국 담보대 대송 고버레스. 아니 대제 중국 니바나 대 가자 중국 담보 롱합격이잖아. Longap kya ijela ani the chungu niba de coveres ani the chungu niba de jela ani the kasa ani the chungu soma de coveres
Long as a port location was
in the longap kya ina the ingi marwa ijela
Consta lot on John Tata in a good digits and I lot on the Tentachi Taramas. Lot to the Shashi go tambo the Resroa. The Porula tambo the Nibani Porula Lokazi, Tiba Sanji Guno Kazi to la Ko, you may think at the thing the lioness. Chingo Sumbako Begala Sanji Joni de Guno Kazi. The little long aja the dedication in Jamarisco. Sanji Joni de Guno. Lord Dima the Shumara. The Ring Ajat Port Kai, the
yeah, so I also do not know exactly how many years in between the tree turning the wheel of Dharma. So like for example at what age then Buddha turned the first wheel, and at what age then Buddha turned the second wheel. This one I also not so sure. And if we were to if what you said is depending what you have said just now, like 500 years later, then this might seems
yeah,
so this yeah, so regarding the 500 years, and this one is definitely is not correct, because how many years Buddhas lived in this world? Because this is not in the court how many years Buddha lived in this world.
Yeah, it was explained why it was 500 years is concealed and was kept secret, something like that. It's mystical, but that's what in the text here. But anyway, we will find answer. Geshe-la can find the answer for us. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's related to history. So you can search for the history, and then you can understand it directly.
Ken, there's a question from Stanley about some school of thought say that the fourth turning of the Dharma is actually Vajrayana schools, and some even consider Dzogchen as a fourth turning. Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah, the Chungo Shiva, Kashigi Lapsud in the Uresa, Chungo Shiva, and the Nagi Chungo is, and it Kashigi and Dzogchen is
Chingo Shiva. Danish Shivas in Jinga, Danish Shivas, and Danish song the Ma Shiva, that Danish Shivas Shiva is then Judik not Danish Shiva and the Shene, not the Chibu Jitidola, Nebo the Makesha Shiva, the Danish Shivas Shiva is Roa. Chidang as a Sanji Jondi, Chingo Rimbasan, of course, Chingo Rimbasan got that Chicha the Qua, Yos in the Wiro, Chingo Chicha the Qua, Chingo Rinji the Qua, your essence in the West Sanji. That is the Jinsi share, you know. Chicha the Kobigense, Rinja the Kobigense. In this Shendangi, Thomas is the Karina, Chingo Shiva came Thomas of Roa. The dangerous in Danish Shivas in China and the Goyes.
Yeah, so regarding your questions, fourth turning the wheel of Dharma. So this one I have never seen before, and most probably when you're talking about the fourth turning wheel of Dharma, I think you are talking about fourth baskets of teachings. So we talk about 3 baskets of teachings, right? Then there is also one more baskets of teachings, which is a fourth baskets of teachings, and it is related to Tantra. So it's a Tantra baskets of teachings, and it talks about the heap of the heap of Dharma. It talks about the antidotes, 84,000 antidotes, which is a heap of Dharma. So probably, I guess you are probably thinking relating it to the fourth baskets of teachings. And when we talk about the turning the wheel of Dharma, there is an explanations about turning the wheels of Dharma simultaneously, and there is another explanation is turning the wheel of Dharma gradually.
There is a call. Sanji Johnny the Chipun Jiti Hito the show the Nemu Jiti in the show, the Nemu Jiti Hito, Nembo Jiti Hito Nembo Jiti Hito de Masuna Judy de Kanda de 내셔기도 뚜무순가 그 년보 차년바데 니티 치도에 담보래라 너희 되네라 년보 니티 치동 너디 되네라 니티 치동 너비 되네라 니티 치동 땡마게 되네라 니티 치동세 다 제동데 제티 기도 되레스 이무 제티 기도라 도스된 거레스 자 딩서 정말 딩서 친구 림바시스나 데 코디 펜 림바시스나 나 림바시스나 근데 그 미세 토마스 간다 데니소 산지기 친구 림바송 코스나 나지 용다 드레티 시바티나 니케 하고 마소스 그러봐 kasi de danda there is changa kicha shewdi dene shiri to shewors kana nimu jebi jeti judo de jaw nimu jeti judo jaw de dene shida signal dene de tsugore mza kola nimu jeti judo de go wa dike shewor.
Yeah, so when we talk about the 84,000 afflictions, then the antidotes to remove these 84,000 afflictions is 84,000 antidotes. And when we talk about the 84,000 antidotes, then that is when the Tantra baskets of teachings comes into picture. And so the first baskets of teachings, the Vinaya baskets of teachings, abandon 21,000 afflictions. Vinaya baskets of teachings abandons 21,000 afflictions of attachment. And the second baskets of teachings, Sutra baskets of teachings, it abandons 21,000 afflictions of anger, or afflictions belongs to the category of anger. And the third baskets of teachings, which is Abhidhamma baskets of teachings, then it abandons 21,000 afflictions of ignorance, or afflictions belongs to the category of ignorance. So, and the fourth baskets of teaching, Tantra baskets of teachings, then it abandons 21,000 of afflictions of attachment, anger, and ignorance. So this is the fourth Tantra baskets of teachings abandons. So I think you are relating to this. So if not, this fourth turning the wheel of Dharma, I have never heard of it.
Since got time, I want to ask this question: is that in Buddha's time there is the three yanas. In India also same, but in Tibet we have the four traditions. Maybe Geshe-la can give some explanation on that. We got Nyingma, Kaju, Sakya, and then even Jonampa, also Gelugpa. So, but in India there was no these traditions. So maybe Geshe-la can give some insight on our knowledge.
Ini kasa di Kerala, ini di kasa di ngaju di sagi kaning yoro, sagi kaning ta ini di Jonampa Kerala di tindi yomaro sagi kaning di.
Ta jaga tunda mo shiris ko, tunda shidles, disu jel lenjor was, disu jel lenjor es ko, jaga nazo tunda mo shile shiris ko, tunda mo shi. Ta saja kaji nima chona sewa di samade, disu jel lenjor.
Ini di pela yoro isla, ini di kola sagi kaning ta Jonampa ki kola di shikabro nangsa.
Ta disu jel lenjor es kanda. 다 드설마 로지드 솔탄이 요라고 간다 자가나로 쩌다 산지기 마 취시사 그 전담마와 시리스고 전담마와 시 또 전담마와 시리스 그래서 제가 벨 렌지 다녀로
에디티 전담마와 시나 디 가가라 요로 이제라
요요르디어
디 그래서 양지라 레비이나
전담마와 산지가 렌지로
상기기가
산지 소로하디
에디티 상기기 구슈비 슈듀니 디 전담마와 시리 요바레스 숨버레
그 산지 군바저비 제라 그 전담마와 시고데 시다마와 데바토지 파츠바토니 딘도에 지제데로 산지 군바저 서질 코츠바레 딘디시 데바토지 파시 치로도 참로 다들 제일 레저에서 간다 조나까지 사지 사기 가니서 와도
Yeah, you're wrong. So during the Buddha's time in India, then there are four schools of tenets, and those during the Buddha's time. So these four schools of tenets existed since then. And after Buddha passed into Parinirvana, then they had a debate about it. They had debate or they had arguments. Then it becomes 18 divisions of the schools of tenets. these particular schools of tenets. And in India, when we talk about this Sakya, Gelupa, Kagyupa, and these four traditions, so Sakyapa and Gelupa and etc. and Jonangpa also. So those. So besides Jonangpa, also Shishe, etc. So besides these four main traditions, there are also other divisions as well, Jonangpa, Shishe, etc. So this one comes in later times. So this one, then you can search for the history about it, and you can read about it in your research.
Thank you.
Geshela, one last question, please. Regarding Geshela, sorry, regarding imputed nature, the three natures. The third one is the imputed phenomena, which is not truly existent. Geshela, can you please explain on this imputed nature?
Kunta kichu di kaza demba meva di tingyo ro ne di kunta kichu di na ngo re kunta kichu ina kunta kichu di jeshi da ro na sa
kunta kichu na da de nangka da boda rangji to bi shin da de sen da bi chun da la di se ma jo na yu ma res ko sen da bi da wa shi go ro da nangka de kunta da la yu ju kunta da me ju kunta ne da de ma bu tani she ya yob tani yob kunta da tani de me bi kunta se and this is mobile leverage mando leverage ko.
Yeah, so regarding this imputed phenomena, if you do not study the school of thoughts of Chittamatra, then is difficult to understand. So in general, because in this when we want to explain the imputed phenomena, then it comes different terminologies such as the imputed phenomena with terminologies, and also I roughly translate. So imputed phenomena with terminologies, and imputations with imputations with terminology, and imputations without terminologies. So there are different terminologies will come into picture when we're trying to explain these. And so in the future, when we study tenets, when we come to this topic of tenets, then we will take time to study the school of thoughts.
Thank you. Today, stop here, yeah? That is essential.
Okay.
Thank you, Geshela.
Yeah, thank you. Long as the watch here, the Kanda, during Dolin de Latine, just Sanjay Timber Jiva and Roa Deva. The Lava the Kanda, and Zalin de la Pashi Yamada, Nianta, Mantuda, Miguel Saba, Tedapa, and Mayuangi, Dichet Samangwa, in San Chisra.
So we conclude this session with dedications. We dedicate these merits for Buddha Dharma to spread to all 10 directions, and spread in all 10 directions. And we also dedicate for the happiness of all sentient beings. And we also dedicate these accumulations of merits for peace and happiness to prevail in the world. And we also dedicate these merits for this pandemic to be ceased as quickly as possible.
Dagi Juni Zabi Giwa De Tindang Dua Kuna Kampe La Jiba Jizu Losan Chapayi Tibe Nimbo Rindo Seje Jo Janju Semjo Rimbo Je Ma Jeba Na Kikyo Ji Jeba Nyamba Me Bayang Uni Kondo Pewa Jo Jambe Pawe Jidang Kimbo Dang Kundo Sambo De Ande Shinde Teta Kungje Jeso Dalo Je Kiwa Teta Tangje Rato Ngo Uni Tawa Rimbo Je Ma Jeba Na Kikyo Ji Jeba Nyamba Me Bayang Kone Kondo Pewa Sho Ni Tawa Rimbo Je Ma Jeba Na Kikyo Ji Jeba Nyamba Me Bayang Kone Kondo Pewa Sho Tuzo Changyen Jangge Gewe Tenzing Jong Bewe Kunse Tobo Se Chosun Kuwe Leme Tuju Ba Tazo Tuje Kendo Shabden Sho Ni Ni Je Sundon Jube Lang Chi Je Se Se Kan Chen Chen Tu Gun Chana Pe Mo Tenzing Kya Zo La So A Te So Shen Dun Dun Ro Sho Jiten Kanden Pende Ma Liu Ba Kan Le Jung We San Pe Yi Shi No Ka Te So Me Tenzing Kya Zo La So A Te So Tu Je Dun Ro Sho Ko Ye Shin Kan De Pen Dan De Wa Ma Liu Jung We Ni Chi Re Se Wa Tenzing Kya Zo Ye Sha Pe Si De Pa Do Teng Kyo Ji. Oh yeah, thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Good night, Geshe-la, Ken, everybody.
Thank you, Geshe-la and Ken also.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Geshe-la.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Good night.
Yeah, good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.